Hey Caitlin, let's take a look at your week 4 assignment 2 drawing. Image quality is not super, but it is definitely recoverable. We've gotten, I think, a pretty good outcome from this one, where we can see a good amount of the detail and the color. I like what you have in place here. I think everything feels very good, but it does feel a little bit limited when we think about what we're seeing in the actual kind of ad itself. There's a lot of details that I feel like we're missing out on, a little bit. I think being able to have some of the text in place, I think a few more developed shadows than what we're seeing here. I think we're seeing more contrast between some of the darks and the lights in the ad than we're seeing here. And then the background kind of elements feel very quickly done. We're missing some kind of things which may or may not be necessary, but what's in place definitely has a kind of a rushed feeling to it. It feels a little sparse and doesn't have the coverage that I think that it needs. But it is doing a lot of good things. I think you're trying to capture the 50s style text down at the bottom is very good. I think the shading within the ornament itself is also working out very well, even though I think you could push a lot more of the darker values in some of the shadowed areas. I think that what we have shows us a good amount of form, and it feels like a three-dimensional, whoops, sorry, I went too far there. It feels like a three-dimensional object that works out to a good degree, I think, of feeling like the original. It's a little stouter. He's a little kind of chubbier here than in the ad, but I think you've captured the overall kind of feeling of him. The only other thing that would be just nice to kind of be able to get across is some of the texture, where there's some elements that feel very, very shiny, like they're a metallic paint that's being put in place, and even a little bit of shininess on the actual horse itself, which isn't really here yet. And I think this is something that definitely takes time to develop, because they're little kind of minor details, but they certainly help to add a little bit of variety, into things. Also would like to see a little bit of some Greeking, which I think you could probably do here. Just a few lines where you have kind of a red line and then kind of follow through with whatever else is going on there. And like I said, maybe a little bit of text down at the rocker part of the horse to kind of finish things off. The Greeking thing is something that is required in the guidelines. The rest of this stuff, is, I think, in place well. So I kind of wish you had more time with it, to be honest. It looks good. It looks like it's just kind of moving along really well. And I think if you were given, another couple hours, you'd be able to develop a few more value ranges, get a little bit more detail in there, fill out the background so it doesn't feel as anemic, and that sort of stuff. But for what it is, and for how you've had kind of pressed for time, I think it ended up looking good. I think the image quality was salvageable, which is good, although we would still want it to be better right from the get-go. And I think you still have a pretty quality assignment here.